We are the painters of our world. We are creators.
Welcome to the Educate Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Danny Morrison. This is a show that's dedicated to empowering and uplifting our Black community by helping you understand what's possible for your life with a college education. And we've got an amazing show for you today. So many people in our community, both young and old, believe the myth that they don't belong on a college campus, that they're not worthy of pursuing their dreams through higher education, or that they wouldn't fit in or be able to make it if they do show up on campus. But these are lies that only hold us back, keeping us from fully using the gifts, talents, and passions we were born with. Now, I get it. You may not believe college is for you because you might have been told that college is for other types of students. And many students like you have been told that college is going to be too tough for you, so don't worry about it. Maybe find a job after high school instead. But the truth is, nothing is too hard for you. You've already overcome more than most people will ever understand. You deserve every opportunity to make the most out of life, and that includes unlocking your full potential by going to college. And as you'll hear today, there's likely no better place for you to start than at your local California community college. You have big dreams, and maybe even more talent than you know, and you're not alone. Today, thousands of Black students of all ages are finding their paths to success at a California community college. They're discovering their passions and uncovering new opportunities to shape their future. But they are also finding themselves surrounded by a community of students who are walking the same path. You may not know this, but for years, California's community colleges have worked hard to create an on-campus environment that makes it easy for you to feel at home and to find success. On campuses statewide, there are now more teachers and administrators than ever before who understand the challenges you're facing because they've lived them too. In addition, on many campuses, students are finding support and community from Black student unions and other student-led organizations. And, as you'll learn today, all of these efforts have been further strengthened by partnerships with some incredible organizations. On today's show, we're going to hear about just one of these amazing programs. It's called Umoja. Umoja is a Kiswahili word that means unity. Umoja has helped thousands of Black students at California community colleges by fostering a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood. Umoja is all about creating community for Black students to ensure that they have the resources they need to succeed in college. I can't overstate just how vital community is to help you thrive in college and in life. No one climbs the mountain to success by themselves. And Umoja offers scholarship opportunities, student resources, and most of all, that sense of belonging that helps students just like you feel at home in a college setting. So today, I'd like to start by introducing our first guest. With me is Umoja co-founder, Dr. Judy Mays.
We are creators. We decide what.
So today I would like to start by introducing our first guest. With me is Umoja co-founder, Dr. Judy Mays. Dr. Mays has helped students at California's community colleges for over 35 years as a counselor and is currently on the board of directors of the Umoja community. Welcome, Dr. Mays. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, I have to ask you, what makes higher education so special to you? How did you find yourself working and staying in higher education for so long?
You know, I had a very humble upbringing, grew up very poor, single mom. There were 6 of us. And there was no push to go to college. And I was the third oldest in my family. My mother would have been just as happy if I had gone to find work, I think. But so I started at community college and, my first experience with a counselor was not a good one. And but I somehow mustered up the courage to go back and meet with a different counselor. So I go back with a different goal. And I take classes and, looking back on it, I think the thing that really kind of helped me to persist was that I took Black history in my first year
Wow.
of community college. I mean, both semesters. And doing that really opened my eyes and showed me that there were, people in my heritage in this country who did great things. And that sort of helped me, develop the backbone and increase my drive and motivation to stay in school. By starting my own educational journey at a community college, I felt like I could go as high as I wanted to go. And it helped me to develop the confidence, to transfer to the next level and know that I could complete my 4-year degree. So I'm so happy that I started at community college because it gave me an opportunity to grow and to learn and to figure out what I really wanted to do.
So wonderful. Now, I described Umoja very briefly in the opening of our show, but I'd love for people to hear it in your own words. What is Umoja, and how is it helping so many Black students across the state?
So, what we were essentially trying to do is create a program that would help foster positive cultural identity, promote Black excellence, and first and foremost, that would love on Black students.
Yes.
And so Black students would feel, and other students, because we serve all students, feel embraced and like they belong in that setting. So that's why we need Umoja, and that's essentially what we do. And one of the other things about Umoja, and of course, community colleges across the board, is that we serve a wide age range.
Mm-hmm.
Our student population, can range from, 18 to 80, literally. And sometimes the older students can say things to those students that they may not receive from, someone who's their age group.
So what can students expect when they join Umoja, and what does the program offer?
So there are 3 core components to having an Umoja program. One is counseling or student support services. So having a counselor who serves specifically Umoja students and can be, relate to the needs, concerns, and all that stuff that come along with enrolling in California Community College. And there's also an academic component. So specific courses where students can enroll, they're set aside for Umoja students, and students then get a culturally relevant learning experience. So they get a classroom environment where they feel safe and can speak freely. And then the other thing programs are required to do is provide student engagement opportunities. So, and that can show up in a lot of different ways. It's field trips, to 4-year universities, to local events that are, culturally relevant events. And of course, we take our students to statewide Umoja events, which are just amazing events. One of the things Umoja was designed to do was to help Black students persist in college. That means with having the support system of the community, with having academic support, with having developed positive cultural identity, that helps you to persist and stay in college until you reach your educational goal. So we have a lot of students that we're very proud of who persist because of their experiences in Umoja.
And what do you say to those students that say, this is not for me? I'm not cut for college. What do you say to those students?
That breaks my heart, first of all. And if that student is like a prospective Umoja student, then I would go so far as to say, we have a place for you here. You may have had some experiences in the past where you didn't feel like you belonged in the educational environment. And I definitely understand that, especially being an African American male or, whatever. Educational environments have not always been friendly to us. But in Umoja, you're going to have a totally different experience. First of all, we're going to love on you. One of our practices is called the ethic of love. And that means that we love you, we embrace you, we want nothing but the best for you, and we want to see you, excel, and we want to see you do well. And we've got amazing, support systems here on campus. We have our basic needs center. There's an additional support program called Educational Opportunity Program. We have classes that you can take that, provide a culturally relevant learning experience for you. So I think you would experience college a little differently if you were to join the Umoja program. So if there's anyone out there listening and maybe their campus isn't fortunate enough to have an Umoja program just yet, what I would encourage them to do is to find a faculty member or an administrator on their campus that they can connect with and talk to them about bringing Umoja to their campus. Because, that is the Chancellor's Office goal, to have Umoja in all 116 California community colleges. So it's just a matter of time.
Allow me to say formally, thank you so much for your time and everything that you do.
Danny, it has been my pleasure speaking with you and having the opportunity to tell a little bit about my story as well as the Umoja story. So thank you.
We are creators. We decide
Our
what
next guest is Lauren Williams. Lauren has a powerful story that I know is going to touch you and inspire you in a big way. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you've made it to UC Davis and are chasing your dreams, but you've had to overcome a lot along the way to get here. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, at the age of 17, I was still in high school. My mother put me out. It was senior year. I was put out luckily during the summer, so I was not currently in school. I was at the time a straight A student. I was always very studious. I was on a college track. Didn't see that ever being not the path for me. I ended up staying with a friend for most of the summer. I tried to get myself emancipated. Thought about going to Job Corps for a while. And then my grandmother told me that I could move with her to Kansas. Well, I finished my senior year up till prom in Kansas. I quit right after prom. I literally got dressed up, went to prom, had fun with my friends, and never went back. So then my mother was pregnant at the time. I ended up moving back to California to be with my mom. I got my GED August of that year. I actually ended up in the 90th percentile on my GED. And I could have went to any college I wanted to at the time, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go to college. I had been through a lot at that point. My father had AIDS. My mom ended up losing the child, so she was going through a lot of emotional upheavals. And I was like, I don't think I can mentally handle college at this time. 2005, I was staying in Stockton at the time. I had just bought a car. I came to Oakland to check on my mom and drop her off something and pick up some stuff from her house because I still was storing things at her house. On the way back from that, I got into a terrible accident. I was completely sober. The pastors in the other car happened to die, and my life was really turned on its head. I don't know how else to say that. I ended up going to jail that night for involuntary vehicular manslaughter. I was released, and trial had been set for some time after.
Now, you are formerly incarcerated. And even though you paid your debt to society, you feel that you continue to pay for what happened, including homelessness. So what has that been like?
Well, when you have involuntary vehicular manslaughter on your background, it is something that people really see as something that they don't want to deal with. What happened to me could have literally happened to anybody. It was a car accident. I was not speeding. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high. Like, I was completely sober, overcorrected, and the back of my car hit someone. So if you go to jail, you do your time, you complete your probation or whatever it is, you should be able to go back into society. You should be able to continue. I was not able to. And because I was not able to continue with getting jobs, or if I did get a job, it was an incredibly low paying job where I could not find any stability to get my own place, buy a car. I moved around quite a bit.
So through all that, what drove you to enroll at American River College, and what was that experience like?
Well, I know for myself, community college is something that is going to change my kid's life. I know that following COVID, more women with children went back to school than any other population. And I mean across cultures. But I know if you're like me and you have kids and you see them every day and you're not in the best of situations, even if you do have financial stability, it's not financial growth. I think that it's really important that you look at your long-term value. Like, we all got right now, and we never know what tomorrow may bring. It ain't promised to none of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no mother doesn't want their kid to have a tomorrow. And if that doesn't motivate you, you just don't want to be motivated.
So what kind of services, resources, and advice did you receive from Umoja?
Umoja had village times, which were great. There were times where we could just sit and talk about different things. They really believe in doing a holistic approach with students. And I appreciated that because in times when there was stress, I had somewhere to de-stress. They also had some food supports. I mean, there's mental wellness too, which I think is very downplayed in my culture, but mental wellness is so important. A lot of us suffer from mental upheavals and are so used to just swallowing it down. And so even now, like, I hate to cry. You know what I mean? And it's 2024, but like, I feel like it can be used against me. And so having someone where you can have a breakdown with and they're going to be like, it's okay, we're going to figure this out. That is something that Umoja really does really well. I learned from Umoja that I can be myself on any campus, unapologetically Black. Beautiful, but Black. They have scholarships. They also have resources like gas cards, food cards, food resources. They take you on trips to conferences and things like that. They have summer internship where you literally get to be around Black college students from all over the state.
So what would you say to others who may be currently incarcerated or are now released and are wondering if they can ever go to college? What would you tell that person?
The carceral system will break down your family and your path more than any other system in this country. And it is literally up to you to decide, what are you going to do with those broken pieces? There is always going to be times in your life where you're broken. But being broken doesn't mean that you're now worthless. So do it for you. Do it because it matters. Anyone can go to college. There is so many different programs that you could take. No matter where you fall in the spectrum, do it for you. Do something that you find fun doing. Like, I'm not saying that everyone has to go to the 4-year school and be, out and throwing a cap in the air. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you want something more than what the hood is giving, and I mean that as sincere as I can, like, I love my hood, but I don't want to live there forever. I love to visit. hey, homies, you know what I mean? But I don't want to be there forever. And so if you want something more than what you got, that's the only place you're going to do it. Education breaks barriers. Like they said, if they wanted to hide something from us, they'd put it in a book. So go read the books, because obviously it's hidden stuff there.
Now you're married. You have children. What's it like being at a different life stage than many of the other students and who enroll immediately after high school?
I love the stage I'm at in college. And I know it may seem weird, but like for me, I know what I want out of life. I think that I'm in a great place mentally for college. Like I know what I want. There's no part of me that's confused about my major or anything like that. I'm able to directly talk to my teachers on a very adult level. I do love where I'm at in college. I wouldn't change that for anything. I love the dynamics. I tried when I was younger. It wasn't my time. I had to live some more. And I'm not saying that everybody is me. That's my story. That's my path.
So tell me about your future. What are your plans after you graduate from UC Davis?
Man, I hope to entrepreneur. I hope to get some funding from some venture capitalists and be able to open my own business where I could hire people that are formerly incarcerated that can't get regular jobs and be able to have a good place to work. I mean, the goal is to be my own boss.
Lauren Williams, thank you so much
Thank
for giving
you.
us your story and spending time with us today.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate it.
We are creators. We decide what
And now I'm excited to bring you a special musical performance from a young lady I've known for a number of years. She's easily one of the brightest musical talents I've ever come across. Her latest project is titled The Remedy. And one of the selections on that brilliant album just so happens to be our new Educate, Elevate theme song, We Are Creators. Yet today, she is singing a song seemingly custom-made for our mission. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the incomparable Nina Gray with Legacy.
'Cause in a few years our bodies return to the earth. Our bones and blood will become one with the dirt. And I know you want your moves to matter. So the young souls know that love is all we were after. What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? I wanna know, what are we fighting for? What are we dying for? What do we stand for? I wanna know, I wanna know, I wanna know, I wanna know. I know we know, I know we know what we stand for.
I want to thank Lauren Williams and Dr. Judy Mays for taking the time today to share their stories with us. The opportunities and the community that Umoja is developing for Black students in partnership with California's community colleges is amazing. And when we share these stories, we begin to break apart the lies and myths that keep us from going to college and chasing our dreams. Together, we can create a new narrative for Black students everywhere, that they can succeed in college. And by doing so, they can accomplish anything. If you'd like to learn more about how to take the next step in your college journey, or learn more about Umoja and some of the other programs available to help you succeed, check out icangotocollege.com. It's got a ton of great info on everything from on-campus resources and programs like these, to how to get financial aid and finding a campus that's right for you. That's icangotocollege.com. Until next time, remember, to educate is to elevate.
We are the painters of our world.